Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, I want to show you my sketchbook that I take with me to my oncologist when I go for cancer treatment. Now, this sketchbook is really dear to me because when I work in this book, it's very, very therapeutic for me. And I confess every time that I work in it that it brings me healing. So I really take my time with the work that I do in this book that I'm about to show you. But I also want to show you the other sketches that I've been doing lately on my index cards. I've done a video about it a while back on how I started a index card sketching practice, which has really opened up my work and really exposed me to new ideas and a new way of approaching my art. So if you haven't started a sketching practice, I highly recommend it. It will definitely enhance your work. So come along, let's get started and let me show you what I've been up to. Okay, so I actually got this book because I wanted to do some gouache, small paintings in it. And when I began, I figured that I would section off and I would do small little paintings. And, it started out okay. But what I began to notice was that the paper really was not thick enough for the gouache. So these were some of the gouache paintings that I started. I think this was the last one that I did. And when I went into therapy, I just figured that I would repurpose the book and do something totally new. So I was already pumped on doing portraits. So I figured I would continue that, but do it with pencil. So I do these when I go to therapy and I'm sitting under IV and I say, you know what? Since I'm sitting here all day, I might as well do something that will force me to take my time and to really focus and concentrate because there's nothing else really to do except maybe scroll on your phone or read or whatever. But I wanted to do some drawing and get some drawing done. And what a perfect way to do that when you're stuck on an IV all day. But doing these portraits have really brought a healing to me. And I believe that I'm getting better, and I believe that I'm gaining more focus, and my eye is getting better as well in terms of being able to capture and proportions and light and shadow and all that good stuff, right? So when I do these portraits, I actually do it from a photo that I get from the internet and I try to copy it as best as I can. I don't trace or anything like that. I just copy and render the photograph as best as I can. So this is one of the first ones that I've done. I did this one next. Now this is graphite, right? So with graphite, there's a little bit of sheen to it and it's a little bit shiny, you know? So I don't know if you could see how the light is hitting it, so you don't get those deep blacks. And that's what I was pressing for, get those really deep blacks and shadows, which I love, right? So this is one I did of Jimi Hendrix, and again, if you, I'm kind of toggling the page, you could see how the light is like reflecting off of it, you know. I believe that this was a pretty good drawing as well, My whole thing was like, I didn't like the sheen. So I was like, man, what can I do? So I said, you know what, I'm going to try charcoal. And you could see the difference in the blacks from here to here. There's definitely a difference. When I lift up the page, you don't get that reflective light back. So this was like one of the first charcoal drawings that I did. And ever since that time, I've been drawing in charcoal and I love it. It's messy, and you got to keep like blowing the page, but I really love it. So I go once a month, and this was the last one that I did. I did another portrait before, but I gave that away. But I just did this yesterday, right? So this book is not full, I do it from a photo. And I was drawn to this photo because of the dark skin tones and the shadows. I just loved it. And I wanted to recreate that. So I got a long way to go in this book. And I'm going to continue with this practice. But I also want to show you some of the other sketches that I've been doing, So that's that. But um, before I show you what I've been doing, I started out sketching like this. These were some of the last sketches that I've done at school and everything, drawing from life and from photos and so forth. And usually I do it direct with a pen or a Sharpie. And I really, really, they're quick and easy, and I really enjoy doing them, right? But ironically, I haven't been doing these type of sketches lately. I've been doing more stuff like this. And I don't know how I got into doing sketches like this, but I was just playing around, fiddling around, doodling, and stuff just started happening, right? So I started like doing positive and negative space type things. And this is what I've been working on lately. And I might do like 10 of these a day, 5, 10 of these a day, just when I have some free time. And my plan was to scale these up and do large paintings of them, you know? And I haven't really done that yet, but this style has actually been showing up in the new work that I've been doing. So when you just kind of like getting ideas out and you got something in your head and you want to do something real quick, I encourage you to do it, because once you start really following a train of thought, things start showing up in your work. And I can testify that, you know, these bold black lines and these little images, like the dots and everything, when I go to paint, it starts showing up in my work, and it happens like automatically. So these are this is what I have been up to lately. I got a ton of this. I got a ton of these, right? And I can go all day talking about it, but just want to give you an idea of like what's possible. You know, I went from drawing like this on little postcards, right? And a Sharpie marker, to having the confidence to do work like this, right? So when you start a sketching practice, you're going to notice that your work is going to start to evolve. You're going to be pushed to do bigger and greater things, and it's just going to flow. It's just going to start happening. 2 maybe 5 years ago, I wasn't doing work like this. I wasn't doing work like this. I was doing like a lot of abstract and representational work, and I wasn't really into like getting down and dirty into the details. But having a sketching practice has really forced me to really look and to see, and I don't know, just to evolve. It forced me to evolve. It forced me to look and see the world in a different way. So if you are thinking about starting a sketching practice or starting a sketchbook, I would say don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to do it. Start small. You could start with index cards on myself, or you can even get yourself a little notebook, a cheap notebook like this, with lined paper, and practice on that. It doesn't have to be anything special. The thing is to just start. Once you get started, you're going to find that you cannot stop. So I'm totally vested into filling this book up now. And it's amazing because this took me 2 days, but this first piece right here took me 2 weeks, two sittings, right? Um, you know, um, you're going to get faster. You're going to get better. Your eye is going to get more sharper. You're going to be able to see things more clearly, and you're going to get faster, and you're going to get more efficient at it. So, definitely for all of you who want to get into sketching, do it. Don't hesitate. Start small. Again, you can start on index cards. You can get yourself a cheap little notebook and start doodling in it. Just start, because once you get started, you're going to find that you cannot stop. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share. I love you all. Yahweh bless, and I will talk to you.